Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.
Amazon Health AI presents Painful Thoughts.
I can't stop scratching my downtown. Yeah, but I'm not itching to go downtown and tell a receptionist I'm here to talk about my downtown. Some things you'd rather type than say out loud.
There's no question too embarrassing for Amazon Health AI. Chat your symptoms and get virtual care 24/7. Healthcare just got less painful.
All right, welcome back to the Survival and Basic Badass Podcast with Kevin and Chuck. So basically the holidays are over and I get me some, you're setting the couch on fire. Nice. So
shitty couch.
Anyway, holidays are over. I usually get some audiobooks or I load up the iTunes when I don't get what I want. And I'm like, oh, I need some new audiobooks. And I start listening to all the prepper books and the different things, you know, usually the survival stories. And it's funny because when I go through them, by the end of the story, I'm always like, oh, I need to step up my night vision. Oh, I need more AR-15s. Oh, I need a lot more silver coins. Oh, you know, I really forgot this one part of my preps. Or, oh, whoa, I need to go buy fish antibiotics. Or, you know, there's always like 80 things that are running through my head. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah. And it's funny because when I'm not listening to all this stuff and kind of consuming all this information, I don't get worried. I'm like, oh, Trump's president, everything's great. The stock market, my marijuana stocks are going through the roof and skyrocketing. You know, California, everybody's getting high. The liberals are turning in their guns so they can smoke pot. Mm-hmm. Everything's great. You know, I don't need to be a prepper. I don't need to prepare for anything. But then I start listening to these audiobooks and I'm like, it's right around the corner. Oh my God. World. You know, the one I'm listening to now, I think the Yellowstone, the volcano goes off.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know, you get the big cloud. And then, of course, nothing's going to grow. Everything's dark. There's cloud. There's ash. People's roofs are collapsing. You think you're prepared. And then China freaking does an EMP because they're like, well, we might as well finish those fuckers off while they're not ready. And then they go after Taiwan, you know? Mm-hmm. So, but, you know, so these are the kind of things that I'm worried about, you know, being a prepper. I'm like, hey. And then I'm like, I start hearing the stories unfold and I'm like, yeah, if I had night vision, then I'm the coolest guy around, you know? So anyway, I was thinking we need to start getting back to basics here and start covering some of the core, you know, things that are, you know, getting your homestead ready. Because I actually this week had a little small wake-up call because I'm reasonably prepared and kerosene heaters and different things. But as you guys know, it's getting very cold in the Northeast here. Mm-hmm. And I guess it's getting cold everywhere in the country. Yeah. And so, you know, with all this global warming and we're all freezing our balls off, mm-hmm. My furnace cuts out on New Year's Eve.
Oh, that's a great time for it, too.
You could always call the furnace guy at 8 o'clock on New Year's Eve. And I'm like, fuck. You know, so I actually, pretty handy. You probably didn't know that about me. But, so I get down there and I pull apart the oil filter. And it's just full of freaking sediment and corrosion and whatever. But hey, I'm a prepper, so guess what? I got another oil filter sitting right on the furnace there. So great. Throw that in. And I remember, the last time the guy came out to clean it, he showed me that there's a second fuel filter that you want to clean right at the, right where it injects in, like where the bleeder screw is on the oil burner.
Mm-hmm.
There's a second one there that I was never replacing or cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
They don't sell it at like Lowe's or anything, but it's very easy to clean with like an air compressor or whatever. So great. So I cleaned that out. Sure enough, that thing is just chock full of, sediment and all that crap coming from the bottom of my oil tank all these years, especially because I let it run down to like nothing, some cheap freaking, you know how it is. We all make mistakes, right? We all have our vices. Mine is letting my gas tank go too low in my pickup, where I'm replacing fuel pumps all the freaking time, and letting my oil tank run low and sucking up a bunch of sediment. So that said, I'm a prepper. I change my oil filter. I clean out this secondary filter, and I get to the nozzle. And the nozzle's the little sprayer, right at the end. And I always have a backup of those. But the last time I went to buy it, they didn't have any, and I forgot about it. And I'm like, fuck. So I take the air compressor, I spray out the nozzle from the inside. No.
Not working?
And I'm like, I know that's where my problem is. You know in your gut, you've seen things before. I'm like, I know that's the problem. So I put on a small heater downstairs. I have that going all night. And then I end up, I have to get up every hour, and I'm downstairs hitting the reset on the furnace, and it goes for like 20 minutes, and then it kicks off. And of course, it's like
4 degrees that night,
or -2 degrees or whatever. And I'm like, damn it. All night. Now, New Year's Day, I go out, I buy the nozzle, I put it in. It's been running ever since, and it's perfect. So
Nice.
I like that I'm on it, and I know how to fix it.
Right.
But you know what it is? You guys remember me talking about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I went hiking, and I'm like, oh, I wish I'd brought a lighter with me. Oh, I wish I'd brought... Same thing, I mean, we spend all this time getting prepared, and then something like that just derails us. And I know, you guys are like, well, my furnace would never go out, and blah, 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 and whatever. But it's just always like, man, what did I forget?
Right.
You really have to put the time going through some, possible scenarios and different things. And I really, after listening to a bunch more of these audiobooks, and I've listened to probably 50, online or, prepper fiction novels, whatever. I hear them all the time and I get scared. But this last week, I'm really thinking about we really need to focus. And I think our next episode is probably going to be on, food storage, but not like how to store it, but like understanding how it works. Like, are we all going to starve to death? Because I got to tell you, when the grocery store shut down, how prepared are you? Because I got to tell you, I'm sure a lot of you guys out there don't have your year supply of food. And we're going to get into that next week, I think, and talk about different options and whatever. But I also want to talk about the grid. Talk about how vulnerable we really are, and how when these things come up and surprise us, when you're caught off guard. And like I said, like when I'm camping and I'm like, oh, I didn't bring a lighter. Oh, I didn't bring a compass. Oh, I didn't, because I know everything's going to go all right. But is it?
Until it goes wrong.
Until it goes wrong. And that's the thing. So anyway, back to us kind of getting on the homestead stuff. One of the things that's going to become an issue, if the infrastructure fails for whatever reason, currency collapse, rioting, food shortage, flu, pandemic, earthquake, volcano, any of these things, EMP, whatever, you might need to secure your location. And the key to that is like your perimeter security, fencing, surveillance, communication, how you're going to kind of protect your homestead. And so that's really what this episode is about, is your perimeter defense.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we're going to focus on fencing.
Yeah, we got a email from Matt a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And he was asking about fencing, wanting us to do a show on fencing. And I was like, God, that sounds so boring. But, you know, it is an important aspect of securing your house, securing your property, your animals.
I got to say, being able to sleep at night and know that, one, predator people aren't going to be stealing your livestock, your supplies, your stores, but also predator animals are not going to be stealing your livestock, stores, or attacking your family.
Right.
These are the things we need to look at. So, what have you got? You have some suggestions?
Well, let's start off with some basic ideas. Now, the reason you want to go towards fencing and away from walls is, you know, walls are great for a lot of things. You know, they're great for privacy. They're great for deadening sounds. You know, if you live near a highway, they're great for a lot of things like that. But they're not ideal for security, and that's because a wall is really a hiding spot for somebody. You know, they can just sit on the other side and, you know, wait for their right opportunity. You know, a fence, you can see through it. You can see who's outside of it. You can see who's around. You know, and really, if you want to be basic and you want to spend just a little bit of money, if you got a 6-foot high chain link fence,
okay,
you're going to be pretty secure there.
They're tough to get through.
Yep, they're not easy to get through. They're not easy to get over. But you know, that's a basic setup. So, you know, stockade fences are great, but again, it's the same thing. You know, they're easy to push down. They're easy to get over, and they don't. You know, they give your enemy a hiding spot. Your whoever it is that's trying to get into your property, they give them a spot to hide and hang out, and wait for the right chance.
All right, now I agree that, like a stockade fence, you're very vulnerable to like a vehicle attack. You know, I agree. I ran my truck into your stockade fence. I don't care if you put those 4x4s in with cement 3 feet down. I'm still rolling through it.
Right.
Vagrants walking around. If I put some nails through it, make it a little tough to climb over.
Yeah,
It
they might go
something.
around.
It
Neighborhood
keeps,
kids will stay off your lawn.
It keeps people from seeing what's behind it, from seeing what you have to offer. So, you know, it has its place, is what I would say. Ideally, when we talk about a great prepper location, a hiding spot, I would have to say that, you know, you want something that's out of the way, off the beaten path.
Right.
Where people aren't going to be walking by and going, hey, you know, you want to be on the road less traveled, if you will. Also, you know, sometimes using shrubbery and bushes and to conceal your property is good. Also, if you have enough property and you have ideally, man, imagine if you have like 15, 20 acres. What if you have your main homestead on 5 acres and then back 10 acres or whatever, you have a totally secluded private, you know, compound, if you will. What if that was surrounded by thorns and prickers and not obvious pass, and then I had a nice wire perimeter fence with some alarms around the outside? Would that not be a great retreat that I could bug out to?
Right. Yeah, I have a friend of mine that has that. He has a cabin set back. You know, he has his main house.
Right.
And he has about 30 acres.
And that's it. When you have
way back in the
20
woods, he's got a little
30
cabin with a
acres.
pond, and you know, I think that's a pretty good thing. You just bar up your doors and windows of your main house and move back. But you know, not all of us have enough money to buy a 30-acre compound.
It's all about where you live, right?
That's right.
But
That's
no,
right.
you're right. It's not always the option that we have available to us.
So let's talk about some basic fences. We talked about the stockade fence.
Yep.
Great for privacy. split rail fence, all that's really good for is defining the edge of your property or defining a barrier. It's not gonna keep anything or anyone out.
Right.
My wife wants some along the front just to keep the neighborhood kids from running across the lawn because she's grouchy. Oh. Get off the lawn. Get off the lawn.
Yeah.
That kid across the street with the giant head that's always...
Is that big head out there
big-headed kid. It's massive. I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
How does he stay upright? But really, I mean, that's really all you're getting with a split rail fence.
Yeah, now, I mean, you could take that split rail fence and then you can add chicken wire to it.
Yep.
I mean, there's different layers. But again, is that really stopping a person that's a threat? Probably not.
No.
But are you stopping neighborhood dogs from running through your yard? Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, it might keep your chickens safe when they're out on their own, you know?
Kinda. Maybe.
Kinda. Now, you want to talk about electric fences? Or you want to save that for...
No, I like electric fences. Let's talk.
Now, I know you were talking about electric
the
fence.
nice thing, like after an EMP, you have solar options and the solar chargers. What I worry about is a lot of the farmers I talk to are like, yeah, most of the chargers seem to last a year, maybe 2 years, and then they're junk. Does 2 years get you through the brunt of hard times? Maybe.
Yep.
If you got enough money, I mean, it seems like a charging base. They're about $120, $130. They're not outrageous
too bad when you're looking
for
at
solar.
Yeah.
Right. Enough to tell people, hey, don't fuck with me.
Don't piss on this.
How many times till you learn, right?
Well, apparently 3 for me.
Counting. But... 3's the number? Okay. I thought we were still counting, so.
All right. But, an electric fence is, and you've seen them, that they're, when you have the threat of being electrocuted, you can space it out pretty good, People aren't going to try and squeeze through those.
It hurts.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't feel good. And, it's good for keeping your animals inside. They get hit once or twice, and they just stay away from it. You don't even have to keep it charged all the time for your livestock. But as far as keeping predators out, you can't just charge it every once in a while.
No.
Now I know we were talking earlier about chain link fences.
Yep.
Chain link fence is legit. You want to get a heavy gauge one. You want to have the post buried. I had a chain link fence that was all kinds of fucked up in my backyard when I first bought this house.
If they're not pulled tight,
and it was a nightmare. It was all covered over with vines and 4 feet of concrete in each pole.
Yeah.
And the fence was all collapsing, but I had all these poles that I had to dig out of the ground. It was a nightmare. But if you get a new one, you put it in properly. And, like I said, a 4-foot fence, that'll keep the neighborhood kids out, but a 6-foot fence will keep most everybody else out.
Yep.
And it's really easy to run, an attachment for barbed wire across the top of it. And honestly, a 6-foot fence with barbed wire on the top, it's going to keep people out. Nobody wants to risk climbing over that unless they're really into it and they come with bolt cutters and they're willing to cut through the fence and get through it.
Now, some people, they got a Leatherman. They're ready to go. But it's
Leatherman
tough with Leatherman
is not easy to cut through a chain link fence, especially when you're cutting 10 or 20 links so you can get through.
It's true.
But
can be done.
No perimeter is impossible to get through.
Right. All this is going to slow them down and give you time.
Mm-hmm. And that's all any fence is.
And hopefully discourage.
Mm-hmm. And discourage, right.
So that's something. Now, let's expand from chain link fence to my favorites, barbed wire and possibly razor wire. Now, I've been looking into barbed wire for a while, and one of my farmer friends is always yelling. Now, here's the thing. It's my farmer's friend's wife.
Okay.
It's always like, what do you think? Barbed wire is ridiculous. When you have to go and pull your animals out of the barbed wire all caught in there and stuck and cut up and blah, 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 and how bad it is, and you're a jerk, and how dare you, and this is wrong. But, man, you can cover a lot for very little.
Yeah.
We looked up some prices. What do you got there?
Yeah, there's a, excuse me, you had a 12-gauge barbed wire fence with 2 points. You get a quarter mile of wire for $69.
$69. So you throw this heavy wire in your shed, and then when times get tough, wow, you're out there, you're running it up.
Mm-hmm.
Little
And
effort.
440 yards, you can cover a good place of that, running 3 strands. Now, like we said, that's 440 yards of just a wire.
Right.
So that doesn't mean that's not fence, that's wire. So just keep that in mind.
There's trees.
There's trees.
Yeah, trees.
And you can get 4-point
yes.
for $10 more. 79, I think, is the prices we saw.
And if we went to thinner wire,
mm-hmm.
so that would be what, like 18
That's
gauge?
12 gauge, yeah.
12
Thinner is 18 gauge. I think that was down to $32. $32
so you're really for a quarter of a mile. So you could buy half mile and throw it in the shed for $70.
Yep, and just have it, put it up.
And you just have it when the time comes, because guess what? The end of the world after an EMP, you got nothing but time.
Mm-hmm.
That's assuming you already stockpiled your food and water.
Right, then otherwise you don't have time at all.
No, then you have no time.
Mm-hmm.
You should apologize to yourself at that point. Now, then, when we started looking into this episode, I was like, well, I always kind of wondered about razor wire.
Right.
I didn't even really realize that was an option for me. I thought you had to have like a used car lot or something to get razor wire. I don't know. Some kind of dog that likes
right,
to
it's
eat
gonna be
fingers
super
or
expensive.
something.
Yeah,
big deal.
chopper, sick balls type.
Yeah,
dog.
yeah. Now you're getting it.
Yeah,
right. So we did a little research, and it turns out there's this website. It's called Amazon.com.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've heard of it. Okay, it's new. Now, they have all kinds of products on there. You can buy toilet paper, whatever. They have razor wire.
Constantina wire. You can get that on Amazon, and they will ship it directly to your house.
This wire is those big coils you see outside the prison, and it actually looks like little razor blades sitting every 3 inches, 4 inches.
Yeah, I was in, let's see, I think it was Fort A.P. Hill. I think that was in Virginia, doing some ops down there. Some training, not ops. And I was putting up Constantina wire for a few hours, and I had leather gloves putting them up, and it just shredded those leather gloves, man. It's not something you want to get tangled up in. No. It snags every little thing that you think it could be snagged, including your skin. It'll just catch you up in it.
That just sounds like a treat right there.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of fun.
Now, so on Amazon, what were we looking at?
Yeah, now we're talking about a NATO grade Constantina wire.
So that's kind of like half-assed is what NATO is. No.
Well, they had 492 feet for $85. But that 492 feet, you got to remember it comes in loops.
All right.
So reasonably you could stretch it out to about 328 feet.
All right.
Now, when you put that on top of your chain link fence...
Well, that was when I Googled it, I think. I think on Amazon, it was 50 feet for $30 shipped.
Okay.
So that's about your neighborhood. If you just search razor wire, you'll find, what we were just talking about, the 328 feet for 79?
85.
$85. But that was, I didn't figure out the shipping on that. You got to do a little bit of your own research.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we don't know what you want to do exactly at home and what your project is.
I mean, I don't know how badass you are. I mean, do you have night vision? Do you have a scope that has night vision and thermal imaging and overlays the two?
Right. If you have that and you don't have Constantina wire, you're making mistakes, buddy.
That's it. See? And then, I mean, maybe you have fish antibiotics. I don't know how prepared you are.
But I got to say, I mean, like, nothing says come back with a warrant like Constantina wire.
I feel like it does. Nobody really fucks with you on that one, A lot of those times you see those TV shows where they have the drug dealer's house, and he's, like, in the middle of, like, South Central, and he's got the Constantina wire all around the house.
Yep.
Yeah, nice.
Yep. So I think that's...
And also, if you wanted a finger collection...
Yeah, now that's great. You can go out, pick your vegetables, pick the fingers off your Constantina wire.
They'll be laying along the fence line. You
Little
can put them
necklace.
into a necklace, just string them together.
Uh-huh.
And when you go out in town, people will be like, "Oh, that's that guy. I'm not fucking with
Mm-hmm.
him."
Yeah, he's already got four of my fingers on there.
And then when you see the guy who just like looks at his hand and looks at you, you'd be like, "Yup."
Yep. So, I mean, there's a lot of options, a lot of great options for fencing, and you really don't have to spend an arm and a leg.
And a lot of this is stuff that you don't have to do right now. Like, you need to buy it. You need to
Right.
go out, buy your couple of rolls of concertina wire, and then set it aside in the shed.
Right. You don't
Right.
have to.
You may never need it.
You're living on, the middle of
The
some
suburbs, and
something
whatever.
pathway lane, and have nice neighbors and a flower garden, and you don't want to just hang concertina wire all over your house and look like some sort of drug dealer. But
the shit hits the fan.
Ready to
Tomorrow,
go.
that goes up, and you're on the roof with a Barrett 50.
And make sure when you're getting that concertina wire out of your shed, you've got leather gloves on, because it'll tear you up. It
Now,
doesn't matter how
If
careful
you're
you
really
are.
attached to all your fingers, like if you
Mhm.
want to keep all 10, maybe just stick with the barbed wire.
Mhm.
But I'm just
Yeah, and
putting that
when
out
I was
there.
stringing the concertina wire, I feel like I lost about a quart of blood. But what are you gonna do? Now, I was looking at some of the higher end, serious fencing systems, and Ameristar has
Okay.
some really interesting stuff. I was looking at the Impasse 2. It's a steel cross section, intended as a not only a deterrent, but it's anti-climb fence, and they've got a stalwart that's the same thing, but it's designed specifically to stop vehicles.
Oh.
So it's anti-climb, anti-vehicle, stainless steel. System integrates. I'll read what they say about it.
Okay.
The Stalwart system integrates the design of a high-security defense with an anti-ram barrier. The framework provides a platform to incorporate various security peripherals required on high-security perimeter designs, meaning it's designed to mount cameras, infrared, motion sensors, anything that you can think of that you want to put on your fence. It's designed to mount these things, designed to stop vehicles, designed to be, I would say, almost impossible to climb this fence. Just by looking at it, I could tell. Even if you got a
can
ladder and leaned it up against it, you wouldn't get over the top of it. But I couldn't even find the prices for it. So if you're wondering what the price is, you can't afford it. I know I can't.
All right, you better get that concertina wire.
Yeah.
'Cause at least that you roll that.
I mean,
crap
if you're
out.
trying to defend the White House, this is where you want to go.
All right.
Ameristar. And listen, if you're just sitting around hanging out, you might want to check it out because there's some pretty interesting systems they got on
if
their
you wanted
website.
to start welding some pipes together,
Mm-hmm.
there's some good ideas.
Yep.
They did have one fence that looked like a bunch of spears just stacked in a row.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Yep. So that was the top of the line that I was able to find as far as fences go, and that was pretty interesting. I didn't get a chance to call him up and ask him questions, but that's the spot to go.
All right.
Now, was one thing to think about when you're setting up your fence is telephone lines running over the fence.
Okay.
Now, and a lot of people don't think that you could climb out telephone wires over a fence, jump down, and then jump into a pickup truck and escape a federal prison. But
If you're Timothy Leary.
if you're Timothy Leary, you can do exactly that.
Tell
we-
me more.
I got on a.
So they probably had concertina wire at this.
They did.
facility.
He just went right over it. January 21st, 1970, Timothy Leary was sentenced to 20 years in prison for
Okay.
marijuana possession. They gave him a psychological profile to see to see where he would fit in, what job he would be good at in the prison.
All right.
But he had actually written the psychological tests. So he answered it in a way that said that he was a very conforming type of individual, low escape risk, and he answered the questions in a way that implied that he would be very good at gardening and horticulture. So they put him outdoors, and the Brotherhood of Eternal Love, which is a real group, apparently. There's a Brotherhood of Eternal Love, which is actually a biker gang that sells LSD. They put up $20,000 and hired the terrorist group, the Weatherman Underground. A lot of people, if you don't know the Weatherman Underground, look them up because they're very interesting. And disturbing. So they paid, the Brotherhood of Eternal Love paid the Weatherman Underground $20,000, $25,000, I saw different things.
All right.
To help him break out. So what he did was he climbed across the telephone wires, over the fence, climbed down the pole, got in a truck that the Weatherman Underground had, loaded him up, evacuated him to Algeria, where he met up with the Black Panthers.
Logically.
So, just saying, when you get your fence together, watch out for those pesky telephone wires.
Now, there is one more thing. Like you said earlier, people, if they have enough time and enough motivation, are going to get through your fence.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to happen. The next step is I would talk to you about either tripwires with, that shoot off shotgun blanks or live shotgun rounds, whatever you got to do in the
film
apocalypse.
Assault, rock salt.
Whatever. We're talking about in the apocalypse after,
Yeah, not Tuesday. Don't go set these up in your backyard. You can't shoot your neighbors
with random shotgun rounds. I don't care how private your property is. With the little no trespassing sign,
it's
you'll
still
go
murder.
to jail. You'll go to prison. It's murder. That's a no-go. But perimeter alarms are a real thing. They can easily be made. There's guys doing them on YouTube with 22 blanks.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy the Home Depot little blanks for the nail guns, the little 22 caps. Or you can use real 22 bullets, whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
Again, if they're not in a tube, they don't really do much, so whatever.
Yeah.
But bottom line, or at least, if nothing else, buy a freaking roll of fishing line and tie it to some bells that are rigged up in your, in your camp.
Now, everyday realistic scenario, you can set up motion sensors that will alert you without alerting them. It doesn't have to be attached to a floodlight.
Yes.
It can be attached to any sort of electronic device.
I know in the past I talked to you guys about SunForce lighting.
Mm-hmm.
They're motion solar lights that would work well into the apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden bright lights are turning on when people are coming through your property. Hey, guess what? That's a pretty good indicator for you. And they're awkward in the middle of the field when a bright light's shining on them.
Right.
Hopefully that on its own is enough to spook them and, send them off. That are going to climb up and take your light and be like, this is fucking awesome.
This is great.
But hopefully you're soon after with a shotgun. Well, AR-15.
AR-15
with a night vision
at
scope.
that range, yeah.
With a night vision scope.
Regardless, though, I think it's important that all of us, kind of take a look at our property line, think about some basic ways that we can protect. And even if you can't afford to encircle your entire property, it'd be a great way to channel people to specific points. You know what I mean? Somebody's going to break in. They might
zone.
Yeah, they might walk along the fence until they find a break or an opening.
Yep.
And that's the spot that you might have the lights on, might have a great aim out of your bedroom window. You don't even have to put pants on.
I like this.
So, when it comes to fencing, it doesn't necessarily have to keep people out, but it can
Control
direct
what
people.
they do.
It can, exactly. Control what they do. Control their actions. And, a good fence will keep somebody out long enough to alert you to their presence.
And hopefully cause enough pain. Now, my plan is always to plant the big poison ivy patch, but then it doesn't get them for 2 or 3 days later.
Yeah, then they're kicking themselves.
Because they're like, damn, I shouldn't have messed with that guy.
Yep. I had a friend that called me This is about 2 years ago.
What did he
not,
call you,
Not too
Kevin?
long ago.
This sounds hurtful.
Well, no, he called me on the telephone.
Oh, okay.
And he called me a motherfucker.
Oh,
But what he
yup.
said was, "Motherfucker, you need to get over here right now."
Okay.
So obviously this is an emergency.
Sounds
Went over
like
to
an
his house.
emergency.
What's going on? Apparently, he had been growing a large amount of pot plants in his backyard.
That's
And he
not
had a
appropriate.
stockade fence around the back of his yard. But the stockade fence kept the neighbors from seeing what it was. But when you run your mouth about something like that,
Oh.
word gets out. And you could see where the person had climbed over the stockade fence and snapped some of the points off the top of the pickets. And, just ripped them all up out of the ground. Ran off probably about $10,000 worth of pot.
Ooh.
Now, I don't support growing pot in your backyard.
No.
I don't support, it's a great cash crop.
It is a cash
But it is
crop.
very against the law in most states.
To grow your own especially.
Mm-hmm. So,
Remember, if the government can't tax your shit, they don't want you doing
yeah,
it.
it's against the law. If they can't tax it, they don't like it.
Besides, you need to keep your wits about you being a survivalist.
That's right. Pot's no good for that. Neither is beer, but I
Now,
don't know
some
if I can
people would
give it up.
argue, well, why are you even alive if you're not drinking good beer? So, you know what I mean? Then what's the point in living? Why
Right.
keep going if there's not good beer?
If there's not good beer, if there's not good pot, what are you going to do with your life?
Times is hard.
My son almost killed himself when I canceled Netflix. So, I mean,
Netflix,
there's different levels for what everybody can deal with in their life.
different strokes. No, not bad. So, what else? You had some concerns about our music? Is that what I'm told?
Yeah, we did get a email recently about asking if we could list the names of the bands and the songs that we play at the end of the show.
Now, guess what? I solved that problem.
Yeah, we did solve that problem, unfortunately.
Not the way we wanted to solve that problem. So you guys know now we're available on Spotify. Now, you heard me mention that a couple episodes back. The problem is Spotify needs all the podcasts to be podcast safe. Now, what I know I explained this, but just in case you missed it, podcast safe means no outside music that you don't own the rights to. Now, technically, we are allowed to play this music by legal definitions, and we can get away with what we do. However, podcast does not want to put you on their service,
Spotify,
without
Mm-hmm.
us meeting this criteria. So in order, we kind of thought about it long and hard, and we were like, I don't know what to do, and I don't know the right way to go about this. But eventually we decided, you know what? Let's grow the audience, get more people, tuned in, and we'll find other ways to make them happy.
Mm-hmm.
So
that means no more Death Clock. That
No more
means
Death
no more
Clock.
Rage Against the
no
Machine.
rage.
No NWA.
Now, I think where we were going wrong, at first, I thought he meant like that awesome funky beats you hear in our intro,
Mm-hmm.
because that's on a lot of the closing credits as well. But I don't think that's what he was looking for.
Yeah.
I thought, and maybe it's just me, that all the songs we played were just obvious, like Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Right.
Like,
You should know.
things that just as soon as you hear it, you're like, Rage Against the Machine, that's freaking awesome. Or Death Clock. I mean, come on,
Mm-hmm.
right? Public Enemy,
Yep.
right? Come on, who doesn't know a little Public Enemy?
Uh-huh.
You guys know what I'm talking about. So whatever. I think we've played some AC/DC along the way.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so if you do have questions or concerns about a certain song, I know one of the rarer ones was the Punisher.
Oh, yeah.
We did play
Great. Rob Zombie. Great
Rob
song.
Zombie
Mhm.
had a song from the Punisher
Yeah,
soundtrack,
called Warzone.
Warzone. Maybe that's the one you're thinking of, because that was pretty badass
Mm-hmm.
and a little lesser known.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I feel like, well, no, because we did have some like girl ones. That girl power episode,
Yeah, Rebel Girl.
Rebel Girl. Is that
was
what it
the
was?
name of that. You know, I might have to go back through these, make a playlist.
A playlist.
We can maybe
All
put that out on the Facebook page or something. It's going to take me a month or so because I'm lazy, but I'll get around to it.
All
Make
right.
up a soundtrack of some of our songs here that
The recommended playlist.
The recommended
that you'll be able
playlist.
to put into Spotify
mm-hmm.
and, it'll
And-
knock it out.
Yes, you can listen to our podcast and then listen to the playlist.
And we'll be like, after this episode, type in blah blah blah,
mm-hmm.
and then cool shit will happen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 2, I know I've said this like 20 times, but I am starting to lean towards maybe I'll get back into YouTube and see if we can't do something there. 3, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but iTunes is kind of bumping off the older episodes. And I think we maybe mentioned it. I know me and Kevin have discussed it amongst ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe we've talked about it on the air. I can't remember. But either way, the some of the classics, if you will, have faded off. So what I decided to do is, at least for now, and we may do other things, but I'm going to go back and try and pick at least 5 of our more popular episodes. And I'm going to drop them every like Thursday or Wednesday or some night like that during the week.
Some of the ones that
Republish
have
a previous
missing.
one. And I'll put into the description that it's a classic episode.
All right. That way you
And
can skip over it
So
if
you can
feel
skip
like you've
over it
listened
if you're
to it.
like, oh, I've already been down that road.
Mhm.
We're not trying to fool you or trick you into, so we get more downloads. We're just trying to make sure some of the key, because the honest answer is some of our beginning episodes were a lot of the key prepper ideas, like home security,
Right.
like
Bug out
building a
bags.
bug out bag,
Right.
things that are kind of really essential to being a prepper. So we didn't want you to miss them. So we're going to try and throw those in. We talked about we could call it Throwback Thursday and do it on Thursday. But I kind of like the idea of having classic
Mm-hmm.
in the episode.
Yeah, a
It
lot of
just
those
sounds a
ones
little-
that disappeared though were also kind of shitty. So
They
maybe
had shitty.
It's not going to be
They
every.
had shitty audio too. No, I'm
everyone.
thinking like 5 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try
Now
and
we
work in there.
did put out a intro again, right? A newer intro. Did that?
Not that I know of.
No.
Oh, no, I haven't dropped it yet.
Okay, so we can put that out this Thursday, maybe, or Friday,
Maybe it'll
or
be dropped by the time you're hearing this. I don't know.
could be. So that's we'll put that one out. It's just a 5-minute thing.
Or a 25-minute.
We ramble a
Whatever.
bit. That's true. That's true.
It started out as a 5-minute thing.
Now, if you guys want to email us and request some topics, I know this one here was one we did because it was a request. A lot of the shows we do are because people are asking about them.
All right.
If you want to do that, you can email us at preppingbadass@gmail.com, or you can go on our Facebook page. Let us know
Perhaps
there.
Join the Facebook group,
Right.
the Prepping Badass group, if you search that out.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of interaction going on there. I reveal some of
I'm
my
a
better
very-
secrets.
I'm a very private person, but you can be my Facebook friend if you join the Facebook group.
Yeah, you guys will be like besties.
We'll be besties.
All right.
Text back and forth. We'll hang out.
There's a
and,
lot of fun going on in the Facebook group.
We'll hang out
So.
and gossip about Chuck and
Braid each other's hair.
whatever.
Whatever.
It'll be a great time.
Great times. Recommend the right beer. All
Yeah.
right. So with that, is that it? Or-
That's it. That's all I got.
All right. Then stay safe, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.